Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be talking about something that I've experienced more so in my journey as an astrologer, but something that can be used also for you regardless of your profession in your daily life, because it's about more so an attitude than taking any practical actions. And that is the consciousness of knowing. What do I mean by that? It's a form of spiritual confidence that makes you realize that you already have the answers that you're seeking. Let me use myself as an example to show you how it works in practice. I have studied astrology for many years. It was present in my life since I was a kid through my family. Spiritual subjects were something that I was exposed to as long as I can remember because my mother was interested in them, and she would give me numerology books and astrology books and spiritual books. So the consciousness, the awareness of these subjects is not something that is new to me. And then, as I grew up, I started to study more on my own. Honestly, with the internet, the sky is the limit. There's so much free knowledge. There's so many blogs, platforms, books to buy or even to read for free. So you can say that technically it's been a very long time since I was ready and prepared to share what I have learned with the world, because it's not like I am short of experience in studying. I remember that I used to spend the whole night learning, just forgetting the time, and I would just wake up and be like, oh, 6 a.m. When did this time pass? Because that's how much I was consumed by the process of learning. That's how I was fascinated by discovering the new layer to the world that astrology provides when you really start to understand it. And then I saw people who express themselves when it comes to the subjects, who write their own things, who have their own conclusions, who share their own thoughts, and I always looked up to them and admired them. There are so many of them with very accurate, precise conclusions. And I wondered how they did it. How did they achieve this stage? How did they gather all this energy inside them to share with people? And together with this perception that these people have something that I don't, came an attitude, an illusion of false inferiority. And it took some pretty painful events in my personal life to tell to myself, wait a second, technically it's not like I don't know anything. I am a natural born counselor. I have been a guiding hand and a help to my friends since I was a little girl, since I was born, because this is what my soul came here to do, to heal. Why am I not sharing what I have inside me? It's not like what I have inside me is any less valuable than what anyone else has. And the same goes for you. What you have inside you is just as valuable as what anyone else has to share, because everyone in the world has something unique to contribute. In this moment, if you have this kind of attitude that you have some sort of knowledge, that you feel like you have something inside you but you are hesitant to share it, look back at your previous experiences with sharing. Has your style, has your energy been somehow shamed or rejected? Or maybe it has been exploited in some way. For example, that's my experience. I developed a very long aversion to seeing any text documents after being forced to use the text format to complete my university degree, and it's something that really I didn't want to do, something that I did out of obligation, and it pained me to the point that it took me like a good 2 years before I could seriously sit down and write something that came from the heart, because of how much pain that I've gone through to finish this job that I didn't want to do. Felt like my soul was being exploited, and then when I saw text again, I was like, oh my god, no, trauma, time to run away. But I got over it, as anyone who has seen my blog knows. So you may also look into this kind of experience, because if you've been criticized for your journey, then you may have more of a hard time expressing what came from the heart. Like, let's say that, I don't know, someone found your diary when you were a kid, and you know what, your parents didn't respect your privacy, and they mocked you. Or like some teachers at school mocked you, which happened to me also, so I get it. This is the kind of thing that needs to be healed. But this is all an external symptom of an internal problem. And the internal problem is that just as it is important to have substantial energy to give to people, it is equally important to believe in what you have to give. Because if you don't, you will hide with your creations, you will not share confidently what you have inside you, and you will be hesitant. And this has been my problem for a very long time. Then somehow early this year, I buried myself in this lonely creative space of studying and writing, and I discovered that I could channel. See, as much as it is important to have some understanding of basic concepts, like if I didn't learn, I wouldn't even know what the astrology houses are about. We all underestimate that there is an inner part of us that already is connected to the universal knowing through the access that we have to the Akashic records. I have written an article about it. If you go to my links down below, you can find my blog, and you can there find an article called The Power of Individuating. So as much as there needs to be some sort of substantial research and study on your chosen subject, you cannot underestimate the power of the natural born gifts that you are born with, the ability of channeling. In spiritual circles, there's a story going around about how in ancient times when students wanted to be enlightened by the presence of a guru or an esteemed wise person, often this guru would not even talk to them. The students would simply sit in his presence, and by being around his energy, by being in his vibration, they would find answers to the questions that were plaguing them. So it is more so that the guru, without using any words, just by sharing his energy of feeling that he knows, allow the students to access their energy of their vibration of I know. So this is the most important step that you can take to direct your energy in this area, to repeat to yourself, I know. Instead of asking questions externally, try to find the answers within you. I know that this is a very abstract concept, but if you have any doubts, you can read my writing. And I'm not going to lie, I read about Vedic astrology, and there are people in the field who have many more years of learning experience. There are natives from the original parts of the world who have access to direct writing, yet what I have channeled, no one else could have done because it was mine. Naturally, I'm not diminishing anyone's years of expertise and study because these things are very valuable, but also both me and every single one of you has something you need to contribute that no one else can contribute for you. And getting into the vibration of I know is all about allowing yourself to channel this energy. So next time that you are looking for an answer to a question, sit with yourself in silence and try to find this answer, try to tune out all the external distractions, and you will discover that you already have the answer within you. And the miraculous thing that happened for me is that the more I would be expecting myself to find the answer inside, and I stopped asking questions in communities about basic things, which, by the way, came from a feeling of insecurity that I have to know this fact in order to channel my the energy that I have, the wisdom that I have, which, by the way, is not true because it was not needed at all, and what I needed came to me. The facts that I needed just found me, and the rest was smooth sailing. Only in this way, by connecting on the inside, do you find answers that you're seeking that no one from the outside can really provide you. Because when you're asking a question, what you're really trying to find is yourself. And no one can do that for you. Imagine how ridiculous that is to ask someone else to find you. You can't do that. You can only do that from your own, on the inside. And no matter who you are, no matter what you're doing, no matter what your energy is, there are always answers waiting for you down there. Everyone has a different energy, so it's going to look differently for everyone, but we all have a part of us that can only be unlocked purely through directing ourselves towards our inner knowing. And I was mostly motivated to make this video because I want to give you guys the confidence and the certainty. Many people, they look to gurus or teachers thinking that they don't know, and they are stuck in the vibration of I don't know, but this person knows, so I have to take this knowledge from them. In reality, when you have climbed a certain level of awareness, when you are listening to someone sharing their spiritual truth, very often there's a feeling of I already knew that, I just forgot that I knew. And if I watch anyone else's content nowadays, this is the energy that I experience, the energy that, wait, I agree because I already knew that. But that is just the illumination of my own inner truth that the other person is reflecting to me, which is what I also hope to be doing with my own work. The purpose for me with this video is for you to encourage to, instead of constantly seeking answers externally, to turn more inwards and find the answers that you can naturally provide within yourself. Because then you find the inspiration that you didn't even know you had. Honestly, when I do this, I come up with so many ideas from my writing or from my videos that I don't really even have enough time or energy to realize all of them. Like, I have a whole notepad of ideas for such a long time, and none of it came from me reading copious amounts of literature or classic texts. Very often I receive questions, where did you learn astrology? How can I find this and this information? And yeah, I learned from people who knew more than me at the time, and I have read things, but mostly I have learned that I already know. And you know too. There are things that you know that you should make friends with. I didn't need to read 3 volumes to make this video. It's just something that I've experienced and something that I know. I didn't need to do hours of research to share with you what you can find in my writing. It's just there. We all have a unique connection, a unique access to the Akashic records, however that might look for each and every one of us. And you will not find this access if you keep constantly searching externally for what you already have inside you, because you're looking in the wrong direction. And the only thing you truly need to take this step is faith. It's faith in yourself, faith in your abilities, faith in what you already have inside you. The problem with that is that the entire schooling system and the way our society is organized since we are little points us towards the complete opposite. It forces us to search answers on the outside and trains us to think a specific way and to conform to a certain way of thinking. And if a child expresses an idea that's outside of this system, it's criticized for it. And they'll those say, no, that's wrong, you have to give this and this answer. So we are taught since our formative years to repress ourselves, to repress the fact that we know. And here I would like to do the opposite for you. I would like to remind you that you already know. You already know everything that you need to know. And when you can't know and don't know yet, you are simply not supposed to at the time, and you will know when the time is right. So forget what everyone ever told you in this area and listen to yourself instead. Don't even listen to me, but listen to yourself. Listen to the true voice that you have inside, not the voice of conditioning that tells you that you're not good enough and disempowers you. Listen to your own voice. I will never tell you to look in me what you should be finding inside yourself, but I will remind you to go on this search, to go on that inner search. That's my job. The other way that I have found it very difficult and very inorganic for things to work in our schooling system is the absolute necessity, the absolute insistence on citing references when you create. I don't cite references when I create because what I created is mine, and what I was writing was not because I took a quote from someone, it's because I was channeling something higher. And obviously some lines may repeat because we are all connected, but I didn't need to refer anyone to write anything. And if you're truly writing from the heart and from inspiration, neither do you. And the insistence that the mainstream educational systems have on referencing and the inhibition of self-expression that we're encouraged to is the number one problem in nowadays educational system. And very silly, this results in raising us with a flawed conditioning that separates us from our own power of inner knowing. And I wanted to remind you with this video that you really do know. And if you really truly feel like you don't, that means that you're not supposed to. Like, for example, that you don't know something about the future, well, we're not supposed to. So the next time that you have any pressing questions, remind yourself that you already have the answer. Tell yourself that you already know and you already have inside you everything that you're looking for. Whenever you're pushed to search externally, remember that this is what you've been conditioned into, because this is what we are all conditioned into. It's not your truth, and you will never find your truth unless you start looking for it on the inside. Thank you so much for staying with me today, guys. Thank you for watching the content on my channel. Please subscribe and give it a thumbs up. That really helps my work keep going. You can find the links to all my other profiles down below. I recently opened a second Instagram account that's devoted exclusively to my work, because I also have a personal Instagram account. But I now have another one that's devoted exclusively to my work, and I also have a blog where I post and answer community questions, and I also have a Facebook page where I also share my writing. So if you want to see that, you can find all the links down below. I also have private readings. I offer private tarot and astrology readings, and you can find a link to my Etsy shop down below if you're interested in an individual consultation and an individual look at your natal chart or guidance from tarot. Thank you so much again, guys, for staying with me till the end. See you. Bye.